Back. Well, you may have experienced it on Facebook, maybe in your workplace, maybe even within your own family. We're talking about intolerance when it comes to opposite opinions, especially when it comes to politics. And Dr. Michelle Rosin is here. She is a communications expert, and she has some ideas when it comes to accepting other people's opinions. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, and this couldn't really be more timely.
Yes, that's true. It's a very hot topic these days, and it's very interesting because what we're seeing is that people have a very hard time accepting other people's opinions, but we see it in a polarized form. This is something that we see a lot of times in the family, between husband and wife, between spouses, between at work, and we also see it in politics where people truly believe that what is actually their opinion, they perceive to be as the truth.
As fact.
As fact, as the truth. And so they spend a lot of energy trying to convince the other person of what they perceive to be truth. The reality is that we can look at it as something that is a yin and a yang of human interaction. You think a certain way, I think a certain way. There is no ultimate truth. There may be some truth in what you're saying. There may be some things into what you're saying, maybe some things into what I'm saying. We're working towards a common goal, and sometimes people forget that.
Well, has middle ground just been lost altogether? Have people lost the ability to even listen to one another, to hear what the other person is saying?
In a way, because when you get very passionate, like I said, it's a polarized form of, or constant challenge in accepting other people's opinions, it becomes hard to listen to what the other person is saying. And I think sometimes what we need to do is to just be aware of our own biases, that the fact that we perceive things to be a certain way and we have a number of people who agree with us doesn't make it an absolute truth. There is no absolute truth.
And when talking to somebody else, does the degree in which you care about that other person play a role? For instance, if I meet a stranger on the street and we start to get into an argument about something, how much weight should I give that versus someone who's in my own family who I'm not ready to X out just because they don't believe the way I believe?
I think we should exercise tolerance and listening and emphasizing of common goals with everyone around us. And I think it starts at home. It continues to our work environment. You may have a very hard time dealing with someone at work that just perceive things differently than you, and in politics.
So tips for making sure we stay on the right track with folks. Well, we're taking a look at some of them. Establish respect for diversity of opinion.
And embrace the diversity of opinions. It's wonderful that we have a diversity of opinions. It's about who we are. And there's a lot to learn from other people around us if we actually listen rather than be stuck in our own opinion. And to check our own biases, not to think that what we perceive to be the truth is an ultimate truth. There may be something to what the other person is saying. It's important to listen and incorporate that into our perception.
And we have seen this a lot on Facebook too, where people will say, if you think this, then I'm no longer your friend or whatever. I mean,
absolutely.
Is that healthy?
Not at all. Not at all, because we need that yin and yang of interpersonal relationships, of interpersonal discussions of your opinion, my opinion. The beautiful thing is that somewhere in the middle is where we want to get. We want to look at our common goals and see how we can take some things from what you're saying, some things from what I'm saying, and work together.
All right, busy lady right over here. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.